sweet dreams, just doing random things with my best friend. On the last episode, we dove headfirst into transforming giant logs into rustic wedding centerpieces. Buckle up, folks, our adventure continues and it's about to get wild. Here's the recap of what happened in part 1. Angela was armed with a puny handsaw until my stepdad Randy swooped in like a lumberjack superhero. 60 wood slabs later, we thought we'd nailed it. Oh, how naive we were. It turns out sawdust and my bride-to-be are mortal enemies. One touch and Angela erupted into hives. It was pretty scary. Cue frantic cleanup and trying to seal the wood to avoid a red-spotted wedding disaster. We stocked up on supplies to avoid the catastrophe, but Mother Nature wasn't done yet. Just as we spread out our precious cargo, boom, the skies opened up. Will our DIY dreams survive this downpour? Will Angela's hives appear on our wedding day? And seriously, who let us attempt this in the first place? Keep watching for the next thrilling chapter in our What Were They Thinking wedding saga. Trust me, you won't want to miss the chaos that unfolds. But first, what was Angela working on while I was cleaning up the wood? Take a look.
Okay, while Dakota does the cleaning of the wood pieces and Bimo watches, I'm gonna be doing some other wedding stuff. Our decorator, Marcela, such a creative woman, had the idea of putting up our letters up on our wedding table. And we saw those on Amazon and they were about $8 or $10, but she had the idea of doing it on a foam board and just like tracing out the same kind of font that we want. D for Dakota, A for Angela, tracing them out on here. But I gotta say, my penmanship is not the best. So I had the idea, if I like put it on the TV right here, you can kind of see it makes that outline. So I'm just gonna trace it and then I'm gonna cut it out with a X-Acto knife. Let's get to work. Try one. I held it up on the TV with tape, so hopefully it stays up. I'm thinking though I have to put something over here to block the light so I can see the letter come through better. I'm listening to some Hosier. We love Hosier. This is a Hosier friendly household. Want me, Muchan? She's like, feed me. Let's get this project started. I'm all done. What I realized is I have super shaky hands. A lot of the lines are gonna be crooked or like you know, kind of like. But I have it all traced and stuff. I'm gonna curl up my tape. Da-da-da!
Alright, while Angela is working on tracing and cutting our initials, let's go see what Dakota's up to. Looks like he's got some supplies. It feels really weird talking about me in the third person. Let's go see what I'm up to. I had to start moving quicker because there was a storm a-brewing in the distance. Would we make it in time? Heck, I don't know, and I'm editing this. It's been drying for a while, and because of that, it's starting to split. Some of the pieces that we have actually look really fresh, so it still has a lot of moisture retained in here. So we just gotta make sure that we do this pretty quick, otherwise more cracks will start to develop, leading to more work. So you wanna get this done as soon as you can. I got this putty knife. Putty knife, is this what you call it? I can't remember. Putty stick, putty, handheld putty thing. Anyways, got the putty, whatever it's called, thingamajig. Got the wood filler. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slather and lather this putty knife with some wood filler. All right, so actually have never done this before. I'm gonna open this. Do I need to poke a hole in this?
Oh, looks like candy.
Don't recommend doing this. I think I got it. Yeah, I don't know why they chose to design it this way. It's like there's like no way to open this. You know what I gotta do? I think I gotta just like use scissors. That would have been the way smarter thing to do. Got the plastic bit open. Now put the wood filler on the putty knife, if it'll come out. Pretty pleased with sugar on top. Whoa, why is it coming out like diarrhea? That did nothing. Oh, that might be way better. Maybe you don't put it on the putty knife. maybe you just lather and slather it on the wood, and then you use the putty knife to kind of level it off and let it sink into the wood. I don't know if that's right. Let me know in the comments. I am a newbie. I'm here learning with you. I don't know if you can see that. It doesn't look like the best past job, and honestly, like I said before, we didn't get the right color. I don't know if that's your shade, darling. Look at this though. It doesn't have the crack. I don't know if it's working, but when you're a beginner, you gotta start somewhere, and experience is the best teacher. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna learn by doing, and that's why we have you out there. So if you have a little bit more experience, you can teach us, and we can grow together, and you can watch us grow on this journey, and eventually, hopefully become a little bit more proficient at doing things like this, because it's fun. So I'm putting it on much better second go around. First go around was absolutely awful. It looks like poop. Gonna have to sand that. There's like some excess stuff, so gotta sand it off. This looks way smoother. Apply it to the crack, and then applying force and pushing down and scraping backwards. That seems to get it inside and get it flat and looking much nicer. You know, imagine this is the butt crack and poop comes out of it. What you're doing is you're putting poop on it, and then you're pushing the poop back inside the crack. Magical, right? So it's like reverse. Push it in. Oh crud, I messed it up. It's gonna need multiple coats. That's okay. All right, so this was gonna take way longer than I had thought. It required a little bit more technique, so I needed to learn fast, but it took me all the way until evening. You'll see as we go back to Angela. She is working on my initial now.
Okay, so I finished up the A and I finished up the D. A million times easier to do it when it's dark. So if you're doing it during daytime, find a way to block out the light, crank up the brightness on your TV maybe, that might help. It just shows up way easier and you're able to trace the heck out of it. Ta-da! This is how it looks once it is off of the light. I definitely need to work on my lines. You can see they're all wiggly all over the place and I did it a million times. I'm going to have to erase a lot, but I think it's okay because I'll be cutting out from this side, and what will really show up is this side, so you won't see any lines, you won't see any tracing, no nothing. I definitely traced this one way lighter. This one was when the sun was out, buns were out too.
The next day on the Nest Homestead, the thunder was brewing. It is a new day. It's the afternoon. We got a BMO baby watching me from the sidelines, cheering me on. My love, Angela, is in there working on other homestead things. She is doing some wedding planning. But then we've got all of these other pieces of wood that still got to get filled. Covered them with that tarp right over there to try to make sure they didn't get direct sunlight. I was all out of the filler. I gotta refill this, but it doesn't necessarily match the tone. So we got this new one called, it's like just natural. We'll see if that is a little bit better. So I got back to work. The next part of the process, once you're done filling this, is you have to sand the wood. You have to make sure that all of the surface is sanded down and is the way that you like it before sealing it. This was gonna take hours upon hours. We had so much to go before our wedding day, which was only a few weeks away. What we didn't know was that our wood and all of our work could be in jeopardy. What's gonna happen? Well, take a look for yourself. Well, we were drying out the wood, but it is raining and it is not dry anymore. So we are figuring out how to best make this happen. But the rain never stopped and the water just kept coming down. Water was getting underneath the tarp, soaking the wood. We eventually had to put something underneath the tarp to have the water cascading down. That eventually helped keep the water from getting underneath, but the damage was already done. Water was under and had touched a lot of the wood. Once the rain stopped, we were afraid to see what the damage would be and how our work would turn out. Hey, it's Dakota in the editing room again. She's giving me some chocolate. Sounds delicious. Thank you.
Don't put that in there, Dakota, in the future.
We'll see. This chocolate is really good. Did the wood get soaked? Did Angela break out in hives on her wedding day? Is BMO still a cute, cuddly, adorable bundle of joy? You better believe she is. But what about those other two questions? Well, you're gonna have to subscribe. If you wanna see what happens in the thrilling conclusion of the wedding centerpieces, subscribe. Like the video, it really helps Angela and I, and it helps send BMO to college one day because she is a growing little baby girl and she's gonna have to go to college. So like the video, it really helps us put bread on the table. And if you haven't seen part 1, check it out up here. There's probably gonna be something on the screen right here that you can click and watch part 1. And if you enjoyed part 2, we'll see you in part 3 in the next video. See you soon. Bye! Anything to say to YouTube and the world? No, she just says thank you. Thank you for subscribing and liking the video and helping put her through college. She appreciates you and all the wonderful people that are watching our homestead grow. So thank you. We appreciate having you here, and we'll see you in the next video.